As the probe into the Delhi blast continues, the Al-Falah University has found itself embroiled in an ever-expanding controversy with its chairperson, Jawad Ahmad Siddiqui, who is now being remanded to 13-day custody of the Enforcement Directorate. The university first came under the scanner following the car blast near Delhi's Red Fort that claimed the lives of 14 innocent people. As investigative agencies launched their probe into the attack, they found that the attacker, Dr. Umar, was linked to the Faridabad terror module that involved doctors and professors employed by Al-Falah. Now, as the probe widens, the university has also come under the Enforcement Directorate scanner. The Enforcement Directorate raided at least 25 locations linked to the university and its trustees, after which its chairperson was taken into custody. Jawad is now being booked under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act for large-scale fraud, forged accreditation claims and diversion of funds. Let's start off our conversation. Major General Anuj Mathur, senior defense expert, is also on the telecast with me. General Mathur, there is a 13-day custody that has been given to the Enforcement Directorate of Siddiqui, the man who is touted to be the orchestrator behind these series of terror attacks that had been plotted. The man who allegedly has provided the finance to ensure these blasts occurred. It is because of the timely intervention of the Jammu and Kashmir police that has been able to stop this terror operation. Unfortunately, there was one attack that led to the death of 14 people near Red Fort on 10th of November. The question here is about a white-collared terror module that had been in existence in the country for decades together, but no questions were raised. How is it that this crime, a terror module of this scale, just went unnoticed by authorities?
Jai Mega, see, you raised a very, very pertinent issue. I can tell you one thing very clearly. Why they are targeting such people. One thing your viewers must know straight away, that this is not the first time that you have a highly educated fellow who's involved into such kind of activities. There are Laden also was educated. There were so many engineers, so many doctors, so many commerce graduates. They have all been doing, but they were all the thinkers, all the planners, not the executors. This kind of a thing, which you call white-collared, as far as a military mind like mine is concerned, terror has only two collars. One is black and one is gray. Black is the one which executes the terror, and gray is the one which supports that terror. That is the overground workers and all sympathizers and supporters and all those kind of things. This thing is happening because in our country we look at this particular profession with a very, very different lens, and when you are looking at it from a very different and very respectable lens, it is not very easy for you to start doubting that profession. One. Two, there is a person who's providing a relief to your pain, whichever way it be. You develop a kind of a affinity toward that gentleman, and that's a doctor which provides succor to the patient, and that is how a patient becomes the person who can listen to this gentleman and his way of thinking. It's much easier in a manner which is much easier, and that is how he was actually indoctrinating a large number of people. Third thing, we have to start looking at our own systems. The systems, as you said, while we may continue to backpat ourselves by saying we have avoided this one, that one, and 2,900 kgs has been recovered, and so many attacks have been that. But the fact of the matter is, you allowed 2,900 to come from somewhere. The fact of the matter is, you could not smell it earlier. The fact of the matter is, there is a person who gets removed from a medical college institution in Srinagar on the charges of anti-national activities. and in no time he gets a appointment in Al-Falah University and becomes an assistant professor there.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be looking at these things. One more thing, please let me say this. One is that, and second thing is that the justice that needs to be given to these people. At times, it takes so long. It takes so long that people are they just don't want to get data from doing things like this. There should be fast track court. There should be a system by way of which these people should get convicted and sentenced and sentence executed mega. Unless that kind of justice is brought, things will not happen. Fourth thing,
Okay, all right.
what is
Okay, all right. I have with me MK Meena, former IPS officer, on the show as well. MK Meena, the question arises, how was this man allowed to take the position of the founder of this university, be the chairperson of the university, when in the past he has already had charges against him of defrauding people by a number of these fraud companies that he had opened with his brothers and other siblings. He was let go of in the previous case before he was the chancellor and the founder and the chairperson of Al-Falah, on the condition that he pays back to the victims of the fraud that he had committed against. Why do you think due diligence has not been done in appointing a man who is taking charge of a university, of an educational institution, who is going to be given the responsibility of teaching students, of molding young minds?
In fact, there are many rules and regulations controlling university. UGC Act is also there. There are various authorities who are controlling universities. But in this case, I think authorities have not acted properly. The due diligence was not given. He has taken all approvals, whatever is necessary for university. And how he got approval, we don't know. There should be proper inquiry about this. How he applied, how he got chairman, who appointed, who are behind him. And now you see the role of this university. It is totally anti-nation, which they are involved in this. In fact, if you see from police point of view, it looks very odd. But slowly we have developed a system in India which is not providing conducive for the police action and police system. Now, if you see that there are a lot of restrictions of going by police in the educational institutions, including university. They say the due permission is to be taken from the university authorities, then only you can enter. Police should not enter. There are various restrictions. Various state governments have imposed this ban on entry on police. That's why there is disconnect between police authority, intelligence authorities, and education institutions. And that's why with this loophole, they take advantage. These the mischievous people, antisocial persons, they take advantage of this. So this is what exactly has happened.
Okay.
This is the role. Police have also not inquired. Police has also not kept proper intelligence on activities of this university. They have not kept watch on this chairman and others. The authorities who are controlling university, they should have regularly checked. They have got a lot of when you issue approval for running university, you need to see many things. But I think in this case, the authorities concerned have failed to see all those things, whether the university is being run as per instructions of the government.
Yeah. I mean, of course, these are lapses, and in hindsight, we are questioning them. Obviously, there was in the code of law custody that has been granted to the NI. I am also being joined right now by Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai. Dr. Bagai, here it is a man who is the primary trustee, the main trustee of this university. He has been defrauding parents and students, accumulating hundreds of crores of rupees, is what that has been revealed. In the charge sheet that has been placed by the NI, by the Enforcement Directorate against this man, is that he lied about the UGC, which is a University Grant Commission recognition. He lied about the NAC accreditation, and by lying about these two accreditations and recognitions, he induced students and parents to enroll in the university. It's sort of a blatant lie, because when you open, I've just opened the university's web portal, and here it says that the Al-Falah University is also recognized in 2015 by the University Grant Commission. How easy it seems it is to open up a fraudulent university and educational center, defraud people, launder money, and not be even in the minds of the authorities, the regulators, the educational departments, the ministries, the police enforcement. Nobody could actually find out what was really happening, or did not even bother to see if there were checks and balances in place at the university.
Good evening. So I have 4 quick points in this. One is, of course, this is no longer a medical institution or educational institution. It's just a factory of death. A person with a tainted serial cheater who's allowed to open this university with a proven track record of being a fraud, and on top of that, to have employed staff in the medical faculty who have actually been thrown out from JNK because of anti-national activities. This smells, this reeks of indiscipline. So I think this institution per se should be taken over by the government and stopped ASAP. Point number 2 is there are still 14 or 15 doctors which have gone missing from that university. We need to track them down. The university itself at a local level has had no surveillance. There has been no screening. Cars coming in with hundreds of kgs of ammunition and explosives into an educational institution, assault rifles in the locker. I mean, this is completely bizarre and ridiculous. So obviously there has been no CCTV footage adequate enough to see and track the movements of these mischievous people. I'm not bothered whether they are doctors, engineers, they are just anti-national and they are criminals. But on a larger level, I think the educational institutions, because we have more than 53,000 colleges and medical and educational institutions in India, out of which 820 are medical colleges. We need on-ground surveillance. We need someone in the capacity of 2 folds. One is what we call as a chief vigilance officer, which is a very, very refined and intelligent police officer. And the second is we need human intelligence, what we call as human intelligence officer. What you can gather as behavior patterns of the faculty and the students is unsurpassed. We have technology, we can track their financial records, their funding. So I think a lot needs to be done. This has been a huge wake-up call as far as India is concerned. We cannot spare these criminals. The law must be swift, it must be severe, keep a deadline of 30 days, do not follow them as our ghar jawais like Ajmal Kasab. Give them the severest punishment, which is death penalty, ASAP.
I'm also being told that there is an update coming in yet another admission that Pakistan fuels cross-border terrorism. Pakistan leader Chaudhry Anwarul Haq has now said that the terror groups struck India from the Red Fort to the forest of Kashmir. Haq's remarks mentioning Red Fort refer to the car blast near the monument in Delhi on 10th of November, which claimed 14 lives. His Forests of Kashmir comment points to the terror attack at Baisaran Valley in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam in April, where 26 people were killed as terrorists opened fire on tourists. General Anuj Mathur, of course, there are ministers and political leaders from Pakistan who are endorsing that attack, making a mockery of India, speaking about how there was a terror attack that was successfully orchestrated on 26th of April in Pahalgam, and phase 2 of it that was witnessed near Red Fort on 10th of November. I do want to pose this question about the terror factory that was being operated from Al-Falah University, that you are allowing for these terror operatives to be enrolled, to be teachers, assistant medical doctors, and you are actually teaching students over there who are just completely unaware of what the going abouts of the university. And I do want to mention that these operatives that have been also part of the university, who have been enrolled, admitted into the university, have been for years together studying in the government college in Pulwama, in Jammu and Kashmir. How did any of their acts go unnoticed? How are they operating under the radar? The fact that you found arms and ammunition in the lockers, you found explosives in the lockers. These doctors had rented an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, which was filled with ammunition, that 2,000 kgs worth of ammunition that at this point of time has been confiscated by the police. This terror operation has been going on for years together. It is not just a matter of weeks and months that this terror operation was conducted, and what happened in Red Fort was successful. This has been going on for years together.
Without a doubt. See, there are two parts to what you're asking me. One is Pakistan's admission. This was always clear. Pakistan's involvement is unquestionable in any act of this kind of terror. Now, this ecosystem that has been created in our country, which provides the support, when I was saying grey means the people who are providing support logistically, communication-wise, every other way, possible way, whether they are overground workers or sympathizers, or second is the people who are doing it on ground. So Pakistan, if you recollect, Pakistan's once very senior Air Force officer had claimed that we did Pulwama, we showed tactical brilliance there. Pakistani people are involved, and they have a habit of, after a while, claiming it. Yes, we did it. Yes, we did it. And that's exactly what they have done this time around also. But the fact continues to remain that passive acceptance of such things. You please tell me, Mika, what has been the reaction of Indian Medical Association? What has been the reaction of the Muslim clerics? Has anyone called it an act of terror so far? I mean, this is the kind of acceptance which is there in our society, our system. Second thing is that anything unusual, what is the role of people around? Me and you must see if there is something unusual going on. If there is a university which is getting funds from Saudi Arabia and Qatar and wherever else, can't we keep an extra cautious eye on that system? Can't we keep an extra cautious eye, as I had said in my previous thing also, that the person who has been removed, thrown out of the university, has been employed here. He has been. So the point, what I'm trying to tell you is that we ignore, probably intentionally or unintentionally, a locker getting retained for a year and a half after you have left the university. You can't justify it. There's no justification whatsoever. So it continues to remain that we accept such kind of things, because of which these people do it. Okay. This indoctrination, and just give me one more second. I want to connect it with something. When I talk of the education ecosystem, it goes down to the madrasas. It goes down to the places where as a small child you're trained or framed. Your mind is being framed to become a radical Islamist or radicalized mind. And a violence of radical mind is very, very tough.
All right, let's take a look at this third update that we are getting at the moment. The NIA probe into the deadly Delhi blast, and there has been a linkage that has been found, of course, with the Faridabad terror module. There are shocking details that have emerged from the Al-Falah University, where doctors and students have now been arrested. Latest reports cite security sources suggests that at least 10 people have gone missing from Al-Falah University in Faridabad. These include doctors and students, and 3 of them hail from Jammu and Kashmir. All right. I'm also going to put into focus another piece of information that we're getting. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has voiced concerns over the recent Delhi blast. He says an attempt was being made to create an environment as if all the people from Union Territory were guilty. Speaking of the terror attack in which the prime suspect was identified as Dr. Umar Nabi, who is a resident of Pulwama, Omar Abdullah has said that the entire population in Kashmir was looked at with suspicion because of the involvement of a few people in the terror attack. He has said that few people are responsible for what happened in Delhi, but a perception is being created that we all are to blame for that and we all are part of it. Coming back to you, MK Meena, talking about this is also quite a revelation that since the arrest and since the blast, as the police are and the NIA and Enforcement Directorate are unearthing, you know, the depths into which this crime, this terror attack has been orchestrated, has been worked upon. There are more students and doctors that have gone missing, and 3 of these students and doctors that have gone missing from the Al-Falah University, 3 of them belong to Jammu and Kashmir, and perhaps that's why the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir is saying, Omar Abdullah, that a perception is being created that those who live in Jammu and Kashmir are being looked upon as quote-unquote terrorists.
It is not perception of whole community or all citizens of a particular state or union territory. These are the individuals who belong to different places and some belonging to Jammu and Kashmir. So in fact, this should not be taken as offense. But it is very surprising and very shocking. The doctors and students, they are missing from this place. So since the accused are under custody in NIA, and all investigating agencies, state police and UT police, Delhi police, they are coordinating with them, and ED is also raiding everywhere. Now, I hope that all agencies will work in tandem, work in coordination, and they will find out exact sequence of events, how it was planned, what was their planning,
right,
and how it was, how they have transported this material, and what exactly has happened. And they should immediately trace, all police authorities, concerned authorities should make efforts in tracing those who are missing. Because then only you can find out things, you can correlate. Because one accused who is in custody, he may speak lies. So you have to confront with those who are missing and those who are suspected.
Yeah.
So immediate action is to be taken
Right.
to trace those who are missing.
And the authorities are already on it. The arrests have been made, and of course interrogation taking place at different levels by the NIA as well as the Enforcement Directorate, as we see that the custody of this man has been granted to the agency. I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, and thanks for watching Newsx.